Hey, everyone. I had to come back on because I had healing affirmations for the soul this morning, and the card that came up was learn to say no, no to abuse. And it really struck home because at this time, so many people are going through um, emergence of triggers. You know, a lot of people are healing yet they don't know because triggers are coming up from the past, emotional triggers. People are saying things that just kind of throw us off and cause us to explode. And the reason why this is because so many years, excuse me, so many years, or maybe even all of our lives, we have sat in a space of stuffing pain. Stuffing pain, what I mean by that is that we put the pain down inside of us. I did a class on or four classes: PTSD and rape, PTSD, molestation, PTSD, and domestic violence. There's four classes, and even PTSD and grief. And what I find is that most of us don't understand that we have taken on some type of baggage from our families. And that's not to say that our families are terrible. We just are in a time where it's time for us to talk about things that have caused problems, you know, like that cousin that had a baby by their stepfather, or they impregnated the father impregnated the daughter, these kind of things. And some people are ashamed of it, but that's why we have so much mental health, so many mental health issues. We, you know, in our coaching program, the leadership program, we discuss these things. We're preparing leaders, but you can't prepare a leader in the right way without them releasing old toxic energy that has been propelling them to destroy their lives, or cause chaos and discord in their lives. A lot of people don't even know that they're operating off of some of the past that they've experienced. Like a child that's been bullied in school is angry about that, and they take it up into their future. And sometimes that bullying causes them to be passive aggressive, and sometimes that bullying can make them become an abuser. A child that has been abused, domestic violence, the mother, the father, however it played out, causes something to happen in the child where some of them will become successful when we look at life in the material aspect, but we want to get to the spirit of things, because that bullying or that domestic violence that the child is experiencing, it carries over, and it will cause an emotional breakdown at some point in our lives. So I had to come back. I mean, honestly, I have to say I am um, a child that was born through a mother and father. My father abused my mother. I'm not afraid to tell anybody. You know, it has set me free. It makes me, it keeps me at peace to know that I won't be abused, and I would never tolerate a man to abuse me or call me out of my name. Why? Because it was something that perpetually happened to women in my family before me. All right. And so did they teach me? They did teach me, but then spirit, the word of God teaches us that we are to love ourselves first. And you know, I was talking to one of the people that I work with in self-care. They pulled this card, self-care came up. And we were discussing what is self-care, because you know, self-care means that at some point you have to get selfish after you've given everything away, and everything has been about everyone. I mean, anyone that comes by this video or shares it knows that they're experiencing something that's making them look back at the past. We're not just there to look at it, but we're to learn from it and create a better life. Every day I come on and I give some kind of information on creating a better life. How do you create a better life? You have to change your thoughts about repressed ideas, things that happened to you that you were angry about, and you took them out on others. That same anger that someone caused you to have is what's propelling you to destroy your life with someone else. There's so many opportunities that we go into professionally. And because the baggage or the skeletons are there, we destroy our professions and our relationships. The next thing is that we don't even know, because we are working out of memories that are embedded in our cellular system. It's inside of us. And people are like, lady, I don't want to hear about nothing good. I don't want to hear about nothing unless you're sending me a man, or a woman. Look, get a life and know that you better create a better woman and man in you before you can get anything that's going to stay with you. If one left, that means that you need some time to yourself to prepare for the next one. What does that mean? You better be prepared to identify with if they are an abuser, something that you've already experienced. Without pride. I had a coaching session at 3:00, and I have some cold symptoms going on. So I canceled it. But this here thing, say no to abuse, is bothering me. You know, the reason why it's bothering me is because there's so much silence about this here. Well, you know what? Share. I'm not silent. And I'm helping people every day that have been abused. Why? Because it was a part of my mission. I grew up through a womb that was being abused. My mother, the womb to the tomb. Abuse was there, but my mother also was born through an abusive system. Now, was her father? I'm sure. I had someone tell me, well, I believe in, just thinking about today. That's fine. God told me to think about Alpha and Omega in the beginning and at the end. That means that everything in the middle, we can collect it. But what do I know if I can't go back and look at my ancestors who created geometry? They were mathematicians. They were lawyers back in time. What could I do with the information right now that's going to propel me? And then look at the past, which is greater. Because the future or the present right now is where people have set up lies for us to believe in. We are living in a time where the skeletons have to come out, and they are. A lot of people are having, I don't want to say mental breakdowns, but they don't know which way to go. Am I selling you something? Nope, I'm telling you because I already gave you my information. Been there, done that. Been a product of abuse. And then almost became an abuser. Because I don't get down with no man hitting me or calling me out my name. Am I mad? No, I'm just telling you like a TI is. And when you love yourself, you will not allow yourself to be beat on anyone that is in there, even mentally. Listen, you can walk through relationships, but be aware. There's a time and a season God gives us to be in relationships so we can learn from one another. That's the bad part is that we don't even realize that we're supposed to be there to learn something. Friendships, we're learning. I don't want to be friends with people that ain't got my back because I'm going to have their back. This is how life gets better. I heard Molly McCord saying that when she became genuine to herself and what she was supposed to teach, she started becoming more, she started gravitating more of authentic people in her life. We can chase after things. That's man or woman. But as long as you chasing it, it ain't going to stay and it ain't going to come properly. When you get to a place where you understand yourself and that you are due the process of life in the most beautiful, worthy way, and stop singing, I'm not worthy. Forget about that. Listen, I'm not talking out of an ego. I'm talking about when you've been through the storm, when you've been through the rain, and then the storm starts again. Life gets real. When you've been through situations when you don't know how you're going to eat from day to day or how you're going to pay your bill, life gets real, but life is teaching you something. It's not a time to give up. You definitely have to recreate if you're with a man or a woman that's beating on you, because you have to make a decision. Anyone that's in a situation where it's a take situation, that could be abusive because, they talk about empaths, but empaths got to man and woman up. You got to get the boundaries in place and stop feeling sorry for yourself in some instances, and feeling like, well, if I do good, what happens? If you do good, then there's the part when you got to take back your good, meaning balance. Therefore, you will balance out the relationship. If someone is in it not for the good reasons, or you're in a work profession and teamwork is not the effort there, it will balance out when you put your boundaries there. Domestic violence and acts of love means that I got to put some boundaries up. A lot of people are fearing, but fear is the reason why you can never move. When you beat the fear, meaning that mentally you overcome it and believe in your heart that you can overcome it. Some people are afraid of moving on because of material things. That could be the very vice that has you in that place, because you're afraid that you can't do it without a certain person or people. If they don't treat you right, what is right about it? This is all governed by how we feel and think about ourselves, the confidence level. It's not about getting angry. Let the peace of God rule your heart and mind. And if you're a Christian, then this is definitely something you need to be looking at, because Christians are about self-love, but not selfish. You got to learn about love first before you can love anybody. That's life, period. If someone had gave me a book and told me, I would be further along, but I had to take myself and write a book on it. I had to write and create or do recordings to help people on PTSD, being raped. You don't have to stay in a place where you see those memories. It's time to reprogram your thoughts. And the Bible does that. But the other thing is right here. If you got up every morning, ordered a deck of cards that were affirmations, this is going to change your heart about things. It's going to power you up. But you got to make the effort. Whoever is in a situation that they don't want to be in, because a lot of people are in situations that they want to be in. I've been in situations and I didn't even know it was a problem. But when I seen it was a problem, I was working myself mentally saying, God, get me out of here. Because see, I believe in God more than I believe in people. And some people, they get upset about that. That's why I did the recording this morning on, do they worship or believe in the same God that you believe in? Because, baby, if you don't believe in the God that I believe in, we cannot create greatness. We can't even create a good relationship. We can't be team players if we don't have the same God. You want to know a scripture? You see, there's some people that are devils and some that are light workers. Now, I done been the devil and I done been the light worker. I've been both. So when I look at myself, I'm looking at people that don't want to change from anger, bitterness, hatred, and this here domestic violence, this brutality, this here bullying. They feel good about hurting people because they're damaged and hurt. Let's just expose it. Because it's not just the victim that is experiencing abuse. Like, in a situation where I said with my mom, no. My mother had been in a family of women that went through domestic violence. It's time to cut it. Now, the man that is doing that in this instance, he needs to man up and get help as well. That's where we begin the healing process, because a lot of our families have the secrets, the abuse, the male or the female abusing, the woman and the male that are going out, skipping out on their relationship. They feel great about it because somebody else outside is empowering them. But what is it doing to your household? You got a good job and people admire you on your job. But what happens when all of that explodes in your face because there's a day of recompense? Someone was asking me about reciprocity, and I said, baby, you and me, we are the reciprocity. To make up my mind to get out of something that is not worth my time. That is reciprocity. You're looking for someone to fall and be hurt because they're leaving you or because they've hurt you. We all got to think about what we've done to each other to make this world better. Not to mention that we have children. Children that we keep breeding, that are experiencing these secrets. Out with the secrets. Bring the skeleton out of the closet. Talk about it. Why? Because your healing is at hand right now. The future is what you're looking at, but you got that part of you that keeps pulling you back that no one knows about. The secret tears, the crying at night, when this and when that. When you make the decision, because we're all children of the Most High. That's Psalms 85. And if I am a child of the Most High and I walk in that order, that means that I got to grow up. It don't mean that it just happens. I got to put in the work of growth to become that Most High. Children of the Most High, they grow just like children in the physical world. So now you think about that. And then you learn how to say no, like Tina Turner. I remember watching that movie with her and Ike. That brawl went on. He was shocked. She will be shocked. Whoever it is that is the abuser, because it's women and men. But it's time for self-care, not egoic, self-preservation. It's time for us to take care of ourselves. Take some moment out. Not be afraid of what's going to happen if I don't meet that deadline. I'm not telling you not to meet your deadlines at work, but you think about how much everything controls your life rather than you controlling your life. And that's when you'll find that fear has been the basis of your life. If I don't do this, if I don't do that, then I can't get this. I can't make that money. How about you trust in something greater than yourself? For the person that might be going through some mental conflict because God is calling them, how about you trust in God and stop trusting in yourself? Mentally, you're in chaos and you're broken. You've abused yourself because you believed in something greater and now you're beat up mentally. You can't even do nothing to get what you need. Trust God. Reach out to people that have the support and help that you need. I mean, we're here. I know that there's a lot of people out there, they don't want to reach out to people that they don't know, but it's worth it. Because here I am, y'all don't know me. And I don't mind telling you that I came from abuse. And I believe that there was some people in my life that thought they would do that to me. But I said, bring that on. Meek and meek minded, but I ain't weak. No, not weak at all. I watch and I'm aware. So in the watching and awareness, there's a lesson and a learning that God is bringing us all to. That means when you are aware, you are not striking out, taking actions against them. You're not triggered by people when you are aware. That's living in the present moment, which is the presence of God. Right now, I'm right here. I'm not over there. I'm not over there. I'm right here talking to people about what? Say no. Live in the present moment. Once you learn to live in the present moment, which has to do with meditation, then you will focus only on what's before you, nothing else. You will no longer allow the triggers because within you has become stronger and confident to know that there's something greater that's going to handle all of that. I give it to you. I give it to the Most High. And that is for, those that believe in the God and the Goddess. So God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Share this with someone because you know what? That molestation that has been a secret, that mother and father that has allowed the child to be molested and ain't said nothing about it. God pulled the covers off of it so that our children can live healthy lives. The rape, the same. It's time for our children to get a better life and a better way of thinking. That is not the way to think that we're supposed to live. It's not. It's not healthy, nor is abuse. All right, so you guys be blessed, and I will see you in the morning for healing affirmations for the soul. Bye-bye.